Here in Ditchit, home to seven-time National Hunt champion trainer Paul Nicholls, and earlier in the week we opened up questions for him from you, the Channel 4 viewers. Now Paul's kindly on hand to offer up some answers. Now, first and foremost, Paul, it's the start of the National Hunt season and plenty of people are wondering how the off-season preparation's gone.
Yeah, no, absolutely good. Big change around in the team. Sort of sold on quite a lot of horses and bought an awful lot of new ones. So I think we've got a whole new looking team, horses and staff.
People have asked, what's your tack still for looking? Do you look to France, Ireland, or is there anywhere in particular?
Anywhere really where there's decent horses. I've bought quite a lot of stores of young horses in Ireland this year, probably up to about 15, which is unusual for us. All 3-year-olds that will be ready to run in bumpers in the spring, and I've just bought quite a lot in France. So we'll mix and match it really, and as I said, to start with, to go anywhere to find a decent horse.
So the season's about a month away or so before it starts getting going. So how many horses would you have in training?
I think this morning we've counted 125, 126 possibly. So that's our maximum number in training at any one time, and we've sort of got several pre-training yards that sort of fill, and we've got horses who want to go in quarantine or ill. We chop and change all the time. So really 126 is a maximum number all the time from October onwards.
And it's all changed in a lot of ways. New jockey arrangements.
Yeah. Obviously it's well documented. Ruby's going to stay in Ireland, although I'm sure he'll ride for us when required. And Darryl Jockey's just been promoted as stable jockey. It's just natural succession, really. It was always going to happen one day.
And talking about some of the horses that you've got here, obviously there's a couple of established stars that are ready to return. We've got Alpha Off first.
Yeah, Alpha Off, he's back working away now. May have a prep race for the King George in November at Ascot, but nothing's set in stone, but we're very pleased with him at the moment.
Now, he's won a Supreme over 2 miles, but he's also won a Paddy Power Gold Cup, which was an extended 2.5. Plenty of people have been asking on the website, what's his preferred trip?
I think he'll stay. I think 3 miles will suit him well. Whether this year he's got enough stamina to get the Gold Cup trip's a different story, but he was progressive. He stayed very well when he won the Paddy Power. He's won a point to point. I'm sure that he will stay, but quite how far, whether there's a real out and out stare, we'll see, but he wouldn't want to be going back to 2 miles, that's for sure.
And of course the horse on most people's National Hunt lips is Big Bucks. 18 out of 18, still unbeaten. How's his well-being? Yeah,
good. Yeah, he's in pre-training at the moment. He's doing lots of walking. He's probably up to about 3 hours a day walking at the moment. He's due to start cantering the second week of October, and then we'll gradually progress to try and have him ready towards the end of January.
Now, going back to Ruby Walsh, a few people have been asking whether Ruby will still be engaged to ride Big Bucks. Is that something you can shed light on yet?
Listen, let's just get him fit and wait and see what happens. I mean, there's no point even thinking about that. He's going to run, as I said, at the end of January or in the World Hurdle, and if Ruby's got horses to ride for Willie, that's what he'll do now. But yeah, I'm sure if Ruby was free, he'd only be too pleased to ride him, and so would Andy. But if Darryl rides him in his prep race and wins on him, I suspect Darryl will stay on him. Darryl's now a stable jockey. It's as simple as that. But with jockeys, there's no point in making too many forward plans because a lot can happen. So we'll just see. And as I said, at any stage Ruby's available to ride for us. If it all fitted in well, that will suit us.
Now, you mentioned the World Hurdle. One of your stars last year is ZARKANDAR. A few people have been asking whether 2 miles or 3 miles might be the trip this year.
It'd be interesting to see. I've got to talk to Chris and Jared and see what they'd like to do. I suspect we'll start him at 2.5. He was very good at Aintree over 2.5, and we would dearly love to try him over 3 miles at some stage.
And another of your stable stars, in the same ownership, SILVINIACO CONTI, was travelling ever so well before falling 3 out in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, that was a shame. He took quite a heavy fall. He had a clear round at Aintree afterwards, which has probably done him the world of good. He's in good shape at the moment. Haven't set in stone where he's going to start the season, but might well be the Betfair Chase, and obviously the Gold Cup is his #1 aim.
You mentioned the Gold Cup. Is that the race in the calendar that you relish most to win?
Like winning any big race, as you well know, but I mean, obviously the Cheltenham Gold Cup is the blue ribbon of jump racing, and it would be great to win it again. And especially with a good chase like SILVINIACO CONTI, he was going extremely well last year. Good thing about this year, he's still only 7, going on 8, and will be a lot stronger.
Now, a quick word on some of the younger horses. Far West and Irish Saint were 2 juveniles that impressed last year.
Yeah, both of them will be going chasing at some stage, but I think with the novice chase programme, as it is for horses rated over 140, it's incredibly hard to get enough experience into them. So we're going to maximise what they can do over hurdles first. So they'll have a run over hurdles, then we'll see where they go with that one run and then decide whether to go chasing or stay hurdling.
Now, a few people on Twitter have been asking about UNIONISTE, who was obviously a hot pot fancy for the Cheltenham Festival. What's his intended target first up?
he's done very well. He's again improved physically for a summer off, and whereas last year he was running during the summer, didn't really have a break. I think he trained off a bit in the spring. He's in good shape now, and we're starting off from day one as opposed to having a horse who was fit. And I suspect, I don't know for sure, but I suspect a race we'll look at will be the Charlie Hall at whether it be a race SILVINIACO CONTI one now, because I think it's a good race for second seeds and novices.
Now, one viewer in particular was very keen to have a bet on at the Gold Cup. I mean, is that something that long term might be his objective?
Yeah, I mean, it might well be, but he's got to progress. He's got to progress quite a long way to be a Gold Cup horse. I see him very much in a mirror Neptune Colongi in a lot of ways, who obviously ran some fantastic races. He got placed in some Gold Cups, won a Lexus, won a couple of Punchestown Gold Cups, and then on and went on and won a Grand National. I see him in that mould of a horse, really a real out and out staying chaser, as opposed to necessarily being a more what I call classier Gold Cup horse. But you know, a lot can happen. He's only 5, you never know.
I'm sure you're asked this on numerous occasions at the start of every season, but have you got a dark horse to follow for the viewers?
Well, it's hard to pick out a dark horse because we've got an awful lot of them that people probably don't know a lot about. A horse I'm looking forward to going chasing with is a horse called Just a Par. Had 2 runs for us over hurdles, was second twice, having won in Ireland. He was second in a Grade 1 in his last run to at Fisher's Cross. I think he'd be quite an exciting chaser if he gets lucky.
Obviously, we couldn't let you go without a word on the big 4 that were here. Big Bucks is obviously coming back into training, but at that point you had masterminded Kauto Star, Denman and Big Bucks in training. Is it still something that you pinch yourself regarding?
They were great horses, and incredibly lucky to have them. They won some fantastic races between them, but time moves on. And you know, they're all now retired. Well, bar Big Bucks is going to come back. He was a bit younger than them, and now it's looking forward to finding some, you know, future stars.
Is there anything that you could compare to any of them in the yard at the moment, potentially?
It's always a job to compare horses, I think, and I always said they were horses of a lifetime. You know, we'd just keep on trying. SILVINIACO CONTI will be as close as any of them as a Gold Cup horse, I suppose. But you know, they were incredibly good horses and hard to replace. But we'll keep trying to find them.